Anyone who runs their own small operation, whether that's a business or a household, knows the particular madness of having to be good at 10 things at once. Here at the IPS HQ, in one day I could be writing, recording, answering students, sorting out some problem with the website or the course back-end techniques, the course back-end technical bits, sorting out some problem with the website, with, more often than not, John over at the next desk here in the office doing his own version of the same juggling act, while out in the front window our cats Mac and Nal are carrying on their endless squabble over who owns the cat hammock and the grand view that comes with it. There's a figure in the Irish tradition who's the patron, if you like, of exactly all that. Not the cat hammock, but the having to be good at 10 different things. And he's the one who's good at everything, and his name sits right at the centre of this season as I'm recording this podcast. His name is Lugh, and the festival we've been talking around, Lúnasa, there's videos on our YouTube channel, there's a resources list at irishpagan.school/Lúnasa. I'll put links to that below. But anyway, we're talking around it, we're trying to give people good information on it, and this whole festival carries his name in it, and actually it's the name for the month of August as well in the Irish language. So the clearest place that we meet Lugh is in Cath Maige Tuired, the second tale. Is in Cath Maige Tuired, the tale of the second battle of Moytura, and there's one scene in it that's worth the whole of the story, just from Lugh's perspective. Obviously there's a lot more in this story, but looking at the bit where Lugh comes to the gate of Tara, to the court of the Túatha Dé Danann, looking to be let in, and the doorkeeper tells him that nobody enters without a skill or an art to offer. So Lugh says he's a wright, he says he's a builder, and the doorkeeper keeps telling him that they have a wright already, they have a builder already. He says he's a smith, and they've a smith too, and on it goes. He says he's a champion, a harper, a poet, a healer, a cupbearer, a worker in metals, and every single time the answer comes back the very same: we have one of those already, we have the best of them in the land, right? So after all this, Lugh asks the question that gets him through the gate. He says, "Go and ask your king now, has he any one man who can do all of these things together?" And of course they haven't, and that's how he comes by his name, Samildánach, the one skilled in many arts together. Now Lugh does go on to lead the Túatha Dé Danann against the Fomorians and to bring down Balor, the great destroying eye, who happens to be his grandfather, with a single stone. But here's what people get wrong about Lugh. You'll very often see Lugh handed to you as a sun god, plain and simple. And that reading owes far more to 19th century pseudo-scholars reaching for tidy comparisons with other mythologies than it does to anything in the Irish texts themselves. What the texts actually give you isn't the sun. It's mastery. It's the gathering of many real skills into one person. And as for the festival, Lúnasa, the tradition has it that Lugh himself set up the great assembly at Tailtiu in honour of the goddess Tailtiu, his foster mother, queen of the Firbolg, who had died clearing the plains of Ireland for the planting. Scholar Mark Williams, in his book Ireland's Immortals, flags that the link between Lugh and the founding of that festival is a debated one, and he's right that it is, but the thread the tradition hands us is plain enough. What we have is the festival of skill and harvest, standing in the name of the one who could do it all. The practice this week takes its shape straight from that scene at the gate, and you do it aloud with your own voice. So I want you to stand up on your own 2 feet, stand up on your hind legs like a Rory Calhoun, as if quoted Simpsons quote goes in this house. Anyway, stand up on your own 2 feet, somewhere you won't be overheard if that makes it easier, if you're going to be uncomfortable, or just say it with your whole chest. And then bring to mind the things that you can actually do, the real skills that you carry. And I mean the true ones, the ones that you've earned, not the ones you only wish you had. We spend so much time inside our own heads being really mean to ourselves and telling ourselves how bad we are, or how worthless we are, or how useless we are, or any of the other 100 million things that we seem to have on a loop around when the mental health is a bit dodge and you're staving off the mentee bee. But this is about the real skills that you carry, right? It's about recognising that in yourself. And then you name them out loud, one after another, the way Lugh named his at the gate. I can do this, you say, and this. And you go through the whole of them. Have a bit of practice, write it down beforehand if you need to. But I want you to list like the practical and the small and the unglamorous, all counted in. Remember, one of Lugh's skills was a cupbearer, which, was noble in its own right, but it was still a service skill. So everything counts. The thing that you do for your work, and the thing that you do with your hands, and the thing that people come to you for. So take your time and let the list build itself up. And when you've named them all, stand a moment with the whole of it. Just take your time, take it all in, with everything that you can do gathered into the one person standing there, and say, all of these together in me. Samildánach, Beir Bua, gain victory. Now, this is a claiming, not a request. You're not asking Lugh for anything, and you're not pretending to be him. You're doing the one thing that his story tells you to do, which is standing at your own gate and naming what you bring. So name the true ones only. A claiming built on skills that you don't really have won't hold, and it does you no good. We're recognising in this practice. Now, if you'd like grounded Irish practices like this one coming to you every month with the source and the stories, that's exactly what the Simple Irish Spells is for. It's my newsletter over on the Irish Pagan School site. You know the drill by now. When you sign up, you get my Magic for Social Change toolkit for free as well. There is a free tier and a paid tier to the newsletter. Make sure that you check the archives. If you're only signing up for the free tier, make sure that you check the archives, because there's a lot of free content in there already, as well as some that have the paid tier paywall on them. But whichever you choose, you're getting properly sourced Irish practice that you can actually do. So you'll find it, as usual, linked in the description below and at irishpagan.school/spells. Slán.